hello, who are you? I'm Dr. Faith, I'm your Faithful Doc, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that has been fucking me up for years. Let's get started. Hi, hello, who are you? I'm Dr. Faith, I'm your Faithful Doc, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to talk about something that has been bothering me for 3.5 years. So today I decided that we are going to start a series based on something that I have had an issue with for far too long. This subject is really near and dear to my heart, and the reason is because not only have I been struggling with it for many years, but 80% of the people who are diagnosed with this particular thing tend to have it too. What am I talking about? We're talking about gut issues. Super sexy, super fun. I particularly suffer from something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or Sibo. I've mentioned this in a video before. It is time to fix it now. Why haven't I fixed it before? I've tried. I've tried many times. It's not an easy thing to get rid of. Can you get rid of it? Yes, absolutely. But it takes a lot of determination, it takes a lot of patience, and it takes to be in a state that you are not chronically stressed out in, which medical school, as you can imagine, is. How'd I get it? Great question. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm pretty positive that it happened right after I took my first set of medical boards. I was incredibly stressed out, which stress does some really awful things to your body. My body was not functioning optimally, as you can imagine. Some people get some really terrible symptoms when it comes to stress. But not only was I really stressed out because of boards, but I happened to actually get food poisoning on top of it, and I'm pretty sure this is where it started. Disclaimer, but I ended up having diarrhea for almost 3 months, and I went to doctors, and they all told me like, oh, maybe it's just your gut dysbiosis is probably off, and you just need to take some probiotics. The one thing they didn't test me for was Sibo, and I had a feeling, I had like a gut, pardon my pun, feeling that I was going to have this issue that I was going to deal with. See, my understanding of Sibo was that you just take antibiotics and it's gone, right?
Wrong.
I was
So wrong?
And it could be that I just had it for so incredibly long that I just never really realized the extent that I'm going to do to fix it, but it's incredibly hard to get rid of. What is it? Great question. What happens is that you have an overgrowth of bacteria from your colon to your small intestine. Your colon's supposed to have millions and billions of bacteria in it, and your small intestine's only supposed to have a couple million. And what happens is when stress happens and food poisoning, it tends to back up from the colon into the small intestine, and then it seeds. Basically gas, bloating, pain, diarrhea, constipation, anxiety, depression. There's so many things that can happen with Sibo. Weird random growths. Some people have bone pain, arthritis. Like there's so many weird manifestation that happens when you don't have your gut health in check. But I'm at a point where I don't give a fuck anymore. I can't do herbs. This is a good thing to cover when it comes to naturopathic doctors. We are doctors first, naturopaths second, which means that we use medications when we need to, and I'm at a point where I need to. I tried the herbal stuff, and not that herbs don't work, because herbs work phenomenally. They just work for subclinical or smaller based symptoms. But when you got big boys, when you got bacteria that are off the chart, there ain't amount of herbs that you could take that will touch it. Also, there's just quality of life. The fact that I have been dealing with this for as long as I am, I'm done. I'm documenting this because I want to be not only held accountable, but I also want to share my experience with you. Today is the end of February. I think it's like the 19th today, February 19th. I'm going to start antibiotics next week. And it's not just one antibiotic. No.
That's cute.
It's 2 antibiotics with a crap load of supplements. There are 3 phases to how I'm going to kill this bacteria. Number 1, we're going to kill off the bacteria with antibiotics. This includes 2 to 3 weeks of taking 2 antibiotics, mainly rifaximin and neomycin, and I'm going to be taking something called PHGG, partially hydrogenated guar gum. What that basically is it's a prebiotic, so it's going to grow the bacteria in the small intestine, and then it's going to kill them all off. So after that, 3 weeks, which aren't going to be easy, by the way. 3 weeks of antibiotics is just going to be horrendous. It just ruins everything. You end up getting either constipation or diarrhea. You get brain fog, anxiety, depression. You end up having issues of just feeling nauseated and just not yourself. You have a hard time with making common decisions. It's not going to be fun. Your gut bacteria are really important. After the kill phase is over, we're going to be heading into something called the starvation phase, which is basically I'm going to be starving the bacteria so that they don't regrow of the things that ferment them. So I'm going to be following something called the Fodmap diet, and I might mix and match some other things, but this is basically a strict diet where I'm going to be avoiding certain kinds of sugars, prebiotics, and food groups that have noticed that they grow more bacteria in them, mainly fermented, sugary, grainy style foods. So it's going to be very restrictive because it's not just eat healthy, because a lot of these foods that are amazing, I love so much, I can't eat. Mainly the ones I'm really gonna miss is garlic, onions, mushrooms, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and fermented foods. I freaking love fermented foods. During this phase, I'm going to be doing this very strict diet, but I'm also going to be adding in probiotics, but specifically probiotics that don't have any prebiotics in them. So there's specific ones that I have to take, and then I'm also going to be rebuilding the gut lining. There are multiple supplements that you can take to rebuild gut lining. They basically help close something called the gap junctions, which if you think about your stomach is like a sieve and you have leaky gut, you have holes in that sieve. So what you're trying to do is cement over those holes. You do that with glycines and zincs and a few other supplements. I'll go through them. I also forgot to mention that we're going to be taking a prokinetic in this phase, which is basically making sure something called the MMC or motility motor complex in your stomach is going to be pumping everything through at the timing it needs to so it doesn't get too stagnant, so therefore it doesn't grow more bacteria or ferment faster. So that's like 12 supplements a day.
Fun.
After all of that's said and done of super restrictive dieting and adding in all these supplements, for 6 months, we're going to go into the reintroduction phase. At this time, I'm going to be reintroducing foods slowly, one at a time, taking a food, waiting 2 to 3 days, and adding a new food in and seeing if it actually helps. It's intense, and I'm not looking forward to it, but 3.5 years of being in pain and depressed and anxious, having issues with my gut, it's just such a long time. It's not acceptable. And you shouldn't think it's acceptable either if you're struggling with this. So that's it that I got for this intro video. It's going to be intense and I'm excited for it, but I'm also nervous, and I hope you guys enjoy this journey because everybody struggles with stuff. Everybody. There's not one person who doesn't struggle with things. I'm going to show you my struggle.
You're welcome.
So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna continue to make content and just put it out there and see what you guys think of it. And hopefully you enjoy it. And if you like it, give it a big thumbs up. And I can't wait for this series. It's gonna be painful. Okay, bye guys.